Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This one here, I'm going to be showing off a very popular deck from the 2007 Pokemon format, which I think it was from EXDX to EX, I want to say might have been Holon Phantoms. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And yeah, this deck is absolutely crazy. It's literally one of the few decks that I've seen to play a lot of Pokemon types. There's practically like one of every single type in this deck, and that's absolutely nuts, right? The only one that's not in here, I believe, is Dark. Right? Dark and... yeah, just Dark. Right? So that's absolutely crazy. And, you know, obviously the deck that I'm talking about, or the deck... actually, the deck that I think you would probably think I was talking about, it was probably some sort of evolution deck. But it's not. Right? The deck that I'm talking about is Flygon. Flygon and Friends. And, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So we have a Flygon EX. 3 Flygon. Right, this Flygon is absolutely amazing. A Vibrava. And then 3 Trapinch. Right, so Trapinch here, you know, pretty standard. 51 retreat. Yeah, 50 HP, no resistance, weakness to grass, which is surprising. A grass type being weak to grass. But remember, they had it as, you know, it's a ground type in the game, and this is a Delta species. You know, they're Pokemon that are typically are not, you know, their usual type. Bug Bite there, you know, grass for 10. They can't retreat, so that's really good. And 2 for 20. Goes to Vibrava. This Vibrava is amazing. 70 HP, 1 retreat. Resistance to lightning and fighting, that's awesome. And then weakness to colorless, because they didn't have a dragon type back then. A lot of the dragons were actually colorless type. Pretty cool. That's Pokebody. Psychic Wing. If Vibrava has any psychic energy attached to it, the retreat cost of Vibrava is 0. So that's an amazing pivot after, you know, your opponent has knocked something out. And then it's attack there for 3 colorless. Quick Blow, it does 20. Flip coin of heads. It does 20 more damage. So it's pretty good. And then to the main part of the deck here. Flygon Delta species, right? 110 HP, 2 retreat, the same resistance as Vibrava, and same weakness as well. Its ability there, or Pokepower, they didn't have abilities back then, they were Pokepowers and Pokebodies. Delta Supply. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card or a Delta Rainbow Energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon that has Delta on its card. Right, and that's absolutely amazing. So we do play a ton of Delta type Pokemon in this deck. And its attack there, Swift for a grass, metal, and colorless does 60, and then it pretty much goes through practically everything, right? Weakness doesn't get applied, so really good. And then the EX there, the monster. 150 HP, 2 retreat, no resistance, and no weakness. Right, sand damage. As long as it's active, put 1 damage counter on each of your points. Bench basic Pokemon in between turns, so really good. You know, it's very pretty much the exact text as the sand damage Dark Tyranitar from Team Rocket Returns. And then Psychic Pulse for 2 Psychic and a colorless. It does 80. And then it does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So a nice bench spread there, right? And you combo that with, you know, it's, you know, Pokebody sand damage there. That's 20 damage. right? Before your opponent starts their turn. So that's on obviously a basic Pokemon, so that's really good. And that is the Flygon line. Next, we have another important part here. Some more spread. We got 2 Exeggutor Delta and then 2 Exeggcute Delta. So Exeggcute 50 HP, 1 retreat, no resistance, weakness to psychic. Roll out for 10 for colorless, and then fighting colorless. Pebble throw, choose one of your opponent's bench, does 20 to it, so not too bad. It's mainly there for Exeggutor. Exeggutor is a monster. 80 HP, 1 retreat, which is really good. No resistance, weakness to psychic. Delta Circle for 2 colorless. That does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon you have in play that has Delta on its card, right? And that includes itself, right? So if you have 5 Pokemon on the bench and this active, you're hitting for 70 damage. And that's a pretty good number to hit. 70 HP knocks out a lot of things. It's fighting type, so that's a really good type to have. As it can, knock out, a lot of the evolutions. Some decks, play the Steelix, right? So that's not too bad. Its second attack there, for a fighting and 2 color split bomb, it does 30 to 2 your opponent's Pokemon. So a nice little bench snipe there to combo with the Flygon Delta. EX, right, which does the 10 spread and then the 10 in between turns of sand damage to basics. Awesome. That's the secondary attacker. Now the extreme backup attacker is a Sceptile EX. And we play 2 Treecko. Now, this year, like the debate on the Treecko, right? Do you play the second one? Do you not play the second one? Do you play a Grovyle, right? And that's a possibility too. I think that the reason why that we play it, the main reason is just to make sure that it's not prized, as we don't have a way to get it out. 40 HP, 1 retreat, resistance to water, weakness to fire, so typical grass attributes. Pound for colorless, 10 damage. Psychic, Shining Claws, it's 10 damage. Flip one of heads, the defending is now paralyzed. And then the EX, so the EX is really good here. 140 HP, 1 retreat, resistance to water, weakness to grass and fire. So that's a little bit weird, the grass part. It's a Poke Body there, extra liquid. Each player's Pokemon EX can't use any Pokepowers and pays a colorless more energy to use its attacks. That is absolutely amazing, right? That's just nuts, man. Like, that totally shuts down the Absol Eevee's deck. It shuts down practically the Flareon Ariados deck, right? Flareados, it shuts that down, right? It's just nuts. And then a combo that Power Revenge there for a Psychic Colorless does 60 plus 10 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. Right, so your Cape Max hitting for 110 for 2 energy. That's incredible. Now, we got the second secondary attacker. We have some Delta Pokemon that we're going to go through. Right, we got a Chimecho. Right, Chimecho is not there to attack. It's for the Delta support. Pokepower. Once during your turn, before you attack, if you have a supporter card with Holon and its in play, right, with Holon in play, you may search your discard pile for a basic energy or Delta Rainbow Energy, show it to your opponent, put in your hand. So that's great with the combo with the Flygon. You got Energy Recursion. 2 Fire Mew Delta, right? This is another nuts card here, right? It's there for its copy. Choose one of the defending Pokemon's attacks. Copy that attack. This attack does nothing if Mew doesn't have the energy necessary to use that attack. So you still need to have, if it's a 4 energy costing attack, you still need 4 energy. But the type doesn't really matter. There you go. And then obviously the extra draw, you know, that's not really why it's used, but it's neat as well. We have a Mew Star. Right, so Mew Star, another awesome card in here. Right, Mew Star with Mimicry. Choose an attack on one of your opponent's Pokemon in play, and then you copy that attack, and then obviously you still need to have the required energy. Right, so it's not just an attack on the defending like the Fire Mew, it's an attack from any Pokemon in play. So that's absolutely incredible. And then Rainbow Wave's okay too. Now another amazing attacker, right? And actually this card is extremely pricey too, even right now. A Rayquaza Delta EX. 110 HP, 2 retreat, no resistance, no weakness. It's Pokebody there, Rage Aura. If you have more prize cards left than your opponent, ignore all colorless energy necessary to use Rayquaza EX's special circuit and sky high claws attacks. Right, that is nuts. Its attack there, the first one, special circuit for a lightning colorless, so it's typically just going to be for lightning. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 30 damage to it. If you choose a Pokemon that has any Pokepowers or Pokebodies, this attack does 50 damage instead. So it's a 50 snipe. That's awesome. That's so good, right? That can can two-shot a lot of things like Metagross Delta, Dragonite Delta, right? And for the popular Meta Knight deck, right? It can, obviously you can't, knock out, the evolutions because they have 110 HP, but if you're able to do that twice and then combo it with a Flygon EX, attack there, the Psychic Pulse, so the sand damage Pokebody, right? You're able to get that 110 hit point mark. Awesome. And then Sky High Claws to 70 for 2 lightning and 2 colorless. Really good. And then lastly, to round out the deck, the best starter for the deck. This is the Pokemon that we want to start with practically every game. And yes, I do have some proxied ones in here. Is Holon's Castform, right? I'm using some Castforms from Brilliant Stars there. It's there for its Delta Draw attack. Count the number of Pokemon you have in play that have Delta on its card, and then draw up to that many cards. So really good. Typically just want to draw the max every time. And then lastly, a Holon's Magnemite, because its ability down here, which is not a Pokebody or Pokepower, you can attach it to a Pokemon from your hand, and it just provides the colorless energy, so it's a searchable energy, right? And then obviously linear attack, a 10 snipe somewhere, that could come in clutch, right? For that exact reason that I mentioned earlier, with the the evolutions having that 110 hit point mark. There we go. That is the Pokemon line. Now to get to the trainer line. Right, the trainer line is pretty easy. Right, the decks A lot of them used pretty much the same trainers. And we got a play set of Holon Transceiver. And yes, they are all reverse foil, right? These are another really expensive card right now. These are probably, well, I don't even know. Like, they're probably like $60 a piece. I might be overshooting it, but whatever, right? And you search your discard pile or deck for any trainer card that has, probably any supporter card that has Holon in its name. And one comes to mind is Holon Mentor. Yes, that's proxied. And the reason why it's proxied is not that I don't have it. It's just I'm trying to get foil versions, right? Because I want to try and foil the trainer lineup. Discard a card from your hand, and then you can search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon that have 100 HP or less. Really good. So it's pretty much a Pokemon collector. It's pretty much a Bridget. And then I can't remember the new one. I want to say Gloria or Arzu. I think it might be Gloria. It's pretty much that. 2 Holon Researcher, right? So same thing. I just have it proxied. Search your deck for a Metal Energy card or a Basic or Evolution card that has Delta on it, right? So that's really good. Right? Yeah, and I'm also trying to foil that out. A Holon Adventurer, right? Discard a card from your hand to play it. Draw 3 cards. If you discard a Pokemon that has Delta on it, draw 4 cards. Right? So that's not too bad. You know, there are a few times where, you know, we have had a card like that in the game. Engineer's Adjustments back in 2011 for 1. You know, discard an energy card. Draw 4 cards. Etc. We got a Holon Farmer, right? Search your discard pile for up to 3 basic energy and any combination of 3 basic Pokemon or evolution cards. Show them to your opponent and shuffle them into your deck. This is, you know, our regeneration card, right? And, you know, you can use this obviously with Holon Transceiver, right? As often as you know, possible, which is like max 5 times a game, right? And then a Holon Scientist, right? So Holon Scientist is cool because it's practically a Colress, like the original Colress from Black and White. Discard. Except it's kind of like based on hand sizes, not Pokemon play. Discard a card from your hand to play this card. If you have less cards in your hand than your opponent, draw cards until you have the same number of cards as your opponent. Maybe not a Chorus. I think there might have been another card like that from like Astral Radiance or something like that. That's very similar, but still pretty good. And that is the Holon. This is what we call the Holon engine here, right? This is absolutely legendary. These are some of the best cards in the game ever. We do have some additional trainer cards, right? So, to start with that, we do have 2 Lanette's Net Search. So this here makes up our 3rd and 4th Holon Mentor. The reason why that I have this is because it can search out EXs, right? It can search out our Rayquaza EX, and so I feel like that's a pretty important card to have, right? And it pretty much does the same thing as Holon Mentor, but just no discard. You can play Holon Mentor if you want, but I just like this as well. And Mr. Briney's Compassion, you can return a Pokemon, excluding Pokemon EX, and all cards attached to your hand, right? We have 2 Giant Stump, right? So this is pretty much a collapsed stadium, except you can't have more than 3 bench Pokemon, right? Not 4 like Collapsitum, but 3. So pretty crazy. Four rare candy, because we do play a lot of stage 2s in this deck. We got the Flygon, we got the Sceptile line, as obviously, and we're probably going to be going through multiple Flygons as well, so it makes sense to have 4 rare candy. 3 Windstorm, right? A lot of decks are playing Cessation Crystal, which shuts off Pokepowers and Pokebodies. So we need that. 2 Pluspower, for an extra 10 damage, and then lastly a Strength Charm, right, which adds 10 damage, right? It's pretty much a Vitality Band, but just like a 1-turn use, right? So you can I could play it as a third Pluspower, but a Strength Charm is just pretty good too. That is the trainer cards, everybody. So lastly, we have the energy, right? So the energy is pretty easy, as I kind of alluded to earlier, we do play multiple types. And the main energy for the deck is obviously the Delta Rainbow, as they provide every type. Then we have 2 lightning energy for Rayquaza, pretty important. A grass energy for Flygon. A fire energy, obviously, for the Mew Fire one, because we play 2. And then lastly, a metal energy, just because of the Flygon as well. So, and there we go, everybody. That is the deck. This is called R-Gon. It's short from R-Gon, right? Because that was the movie that this, came out around this time. And this is Flygon. Flygon with friends. And then obviously the other main attacker, right? These are pretty much your attackers for the game, right? You're going to be using these pretty much every game. So, yeah, there we go. I haven't played this format in a while, so I think this is one of the, obviously one of the best decks. I'm not really too sure. There's Meta Knight, there's Flareados, there was Bennett variants, right? I think there was MSN, which is like Metagross, Deoxys. Yeah, Metagross from Deoxys, Steelix, and Nidoqueen Delta from, I think it was Dragon Frontiers, the one that could search, right? Obviously the Eevee deck, which I think was Absolutions, right? It was like an Absol, because they can move the damage around, and then the Jolteon, spreads, right? So you can get spread KOs. Yeah, I'm not really too sure, but yeah, it's a good deck. Has the matchups wise, I don't really know. I haven't played this in a while, and I don't want to speculate on that. But yeah, there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And yeah, let me know what in the comments what you want to see. And don't forget, giveaway will be announced tomorrow what it is. And then I will announce the winner soon after. So, all right, and this is Deck Profile Friday. Don't forget to check out Opening Sundays, and then soon to be a Wednesday video. So there you go. And lastly, thank you so much for watching, and once again, see you in the next video.